Hi, it's Kelsey with Junk Journal Magic. Today I'm going to color with inks a koi or two because I need a few for my little Zen project. Basically all I'm using are inks like Dylusions Postbox Red ink spray with a little water sprayed on it. I have some alcohol ink Ember, which looks a lot like the red but is different when I have it on my wax paper. I'm also using Distress Oxide Spiced Marmalade and a little bit of Black Star ink. This is Dr. P.H. Marten's. Is P.H. Phil? I don't know. Anyway, so basically all I did was I took some cutouts. Where's my die? Let me show you the die. It is from Temu. Oh, where did I put it? I'll have to get it out at the end. It's probably back in the box with the dies. So I cut out a bunch of these. There was a smaller koi, but it was really hard to get out of the die and it kept tearing, so I gave up on the small ones. And basically I just take a little water, spray it in the red ink, dip. I like the speckles because koi seem to be speckled. And then dip at the tail. And then I set it down to dry, and then I pick up one that I've already dried. And I take it over to my Distress Oxide that I smoosh onto the surface I'm using. This is just wax paper for convenience. I didn't want to drag everything out and move the room around. So basically just stick my fish in there, and it gets some orange. It's not very clear, so I'm going to go back in. When you add orange to red, you don't really see orange that often. So let me get some more water there. Basically, you just keep adding until you're happy with that. And then what I did, because I was impatient, I just kind of dabbed it a little. And I wanted a little brighter orange, so I grabbed my alcohol ink, just because it was bright orange. And I'm going to add a little bit of that here and there. It's much more intense and it sinks into your paper. This is inexpensive watercolor paper. Let me see if I can get a little bit on this little section up here. Yeah, so I'm going to set him down, but I used some offcuts of watercolor paper from another project. I used the flat back side to be the upper surface, where when I cut out my fish it was on top, so it would be flat. It wouldn't have a texture to the fish. Well, that might even look like scales now that I look at it, but that's what I did. And then at the very end, since I dabbed this dry, just to be certain, I'm going to pull out my ink and just kind of go in and touch it here and there to get something a little koi-ish going on with our fish. Yeah. I'll put him on top of here and show you how he looks. I don't need many, but as a project you have to get everything out and do it. So this is what I chose to do today. This past week's been bad with brain fog, so I haven't been very productive. But oh, I love how that black's spreading. That's really cool. Let me see. Here's two. Let's go ahead and do this other one. It should be close to being finished. Might as well do it while the ink's wet. So I'm going to pat it down here. And then over here. I think that looks good. Then I'm going to dab it dry, just so we can move on. And put the tail over here in the alcohol. I may need to get more yet, but the alcohol ink dries quickly. So we turn them over, and this is all over my hands. So yeah, I guess it's a messy fun project. I don't want that straight line kind of edge there. That's better. And I think I'm going to give him a little spot on his head. No, maybe right there. Then make sure it's patted down well. And this ink, is it water-based? It says waterproof, so I guess it's ink-based. I'm sorry, alcohol-based. Then we're just going to pat some black on here. See, this is one that tore. Kind of make them all different because in nature they would all be different. And that's all you do. So if you need some koi, you could do this on a regular goldfish if you have a dye for goldfish. You know, just get in there and play with it. You can use your distress oxides, you can use watercolor, gouache, anything that you would play with, say with stamping. And I do stamp with watercolor. I'm kind of odd. I don't care about rules. I give it a try. So if you like, why don't you paint you some koi fish too by dabbing little fish dyes into different types of inks. Bye-bye.